How quickly is the job market being taken over by AI? Well, up to now, it's been difficult to say. We've heard estimates from some of the top tech CEOs at Meta, Google, Microsoft say that 25 to 30% of their code is written by AI. And that's in the past 6 months. That's some of that is last year, 2024. And within the next year, the predictions were up to 50% of the code being written by AI. Now, when you think about code writing at top tech companies, the top tier of technology companies, these are very high skilled jobs and they're very well paid. So these are some of the most important jobs that are going away or at least being minimized. They don't need as many people to write code anymore. One of the witty things that I've heard people mention about AI and jobs is that your job won't be replaced by AI. Your job will be replaced by someone who uses AI. So now we're getting some data on just how AI is impacting the job market. And this data comes in the form of a report from McKinsey and Company reported by Bloomberg. Now, I just wanted to say, if you like these kind of topics, economics, international trade, and business, please subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoy this video, please give the video a like. So what this McKinsey study looked at is job postings in the UK. And what they compared was the 3 months leading to May in 2022 versus the 3 months leading to May in 2025. And they compared the overall job postings and then they took a deeper dive into areas that were affected, the jobs most affected by AI. Now, I did want to just put a caveat in here ahead of time because I looked up the GDP growth in Britain in 2022 and it showed a 4.8% GDP growth in Britain in 2022. Now, this year it is a fraction of that. It is less than 1%, I believe. So that is somewhat of a confounding factor. I don't know how much it factors in, but I just wanted to mention it. It's something I thought about and something I looked up. So anyway, the overall job postings were down 31% between 2022 and 2025. So an overall reduction in job postings of 31%, which is a massive reduction. The areas that they expected to be the most acutely affected were the white collar jobs in tech and in finance. And those jobs had a reduction of 38% between that 2022 period and the 2025 period. And that's almost twice as much as many of the other job categories that they looked at. Now, I know I mentioned the GDP and the fact that the GDP was higher in 2022. The GDP growth rate was higher in 2022 than 2025. McKinsey, though, reported that a lot of these business areas had positive growth. So they had strong positive growth, but they still had declines in the hiring. And the drops were 50% in areas like graphic design, data science, professional services, and of course, information technology. So this is a pretty dire report as far as hiring is concerned. Lots of these areas are down 50%, and they're attributing this likely to the influx of AI in the workplace. Now, what I wanted to do is bring it back over to the other side of the Atlantic, back over to this side, where we see the influence in autonomous vehicles and robo-taxis, and specifically with the company Waymo and just how quickly they're ramping up their taxi service. So Waymo, of course, is the autonomous vehicle ride-hailing company that's owned by Alphabet, the parent company of Google. And if you don't live in a city that offers these autonomous vehicle rides, this may have been off your radar. I think really the only cities offering it right now are LA, San Francisco, Phoenix, and Austin. And I know they've been testing it in Philadelphia, maybe New York and Atlanta, some other cities as well. But it's really started to grow this year. Now, if you look at what Waymo's ride shares were, the number of ride shares they had in 2023, I believe it was around 12,000. In August 2023, it was 12,617. In March of 2025, it was 7,180. So just a massive scaling up of Waymo trips over that 2-year period. Then we have a Goldman Sachs study on predicting where this market is going to go. Now, the thing you have to think about is normally, today in most places, people are driving these cars. Either it's an Uber or a taxi, somebody's working in the car to earn a living. Now, these are going to be cars that are owned by a company and they won't require a worker, there won't be a driver needed. So the Goldman Sachs study says that the US rideshare market is currently valued at 58 billion and is expected to swell to over 336 billion by 2030. So they expect that the autonomous vehicles will capture about $7 billion worth of that market, representing 8% of total rideshare bookings. So this figure may seem modest, but it represents a significant leap from the $300 million projected for 2025. So that's nearly a 90% compound growth rate. And so there we'll have it. 8% ride shares will be autonomous by 2030. And don't think that people will reject these autonomous vehicles either, because JD Power has done a study on consumer confidence in autonomous vehicles. And once somebody rides in one, once they've tried it, the consumer confidence in it goes right up. So in a study that they did, for people who had ridden in a robo-taxi before, they had 76% confidence in it. For non-riders, it was 20%. And for non-riders from cities with active robo-taxis, it was 34%. So just being in the proximity of robo-taxis, people become more confident in them and more willing to ride them. So it really doesn't take much imagination to realize that this is not going to affect just taxis. It's going to affect all the other transportation industries as well. And if you think about industries like truck driving is the number one job in a lot of states in the United States. So there are companies that are working on these autonomous trucks as well. Maybe they'll need some help at the destination and wherever they leave from, wherever they depart from. But you could imagine that a lot of the driving could be done autonomously. So a lot of these jobs are going to go away. Now, in the long run, I have confidence that we will always come up with new jobs and higher productivity types of jobs so that we can have a higher standard of living. Because when you think about it, AI is just a tool. But this might be somewhat distressing for a lot of people in the short run because there is going to be a lot of disruption going on in the economy. Anyway, what do you think about it? You tell me what you think about it. I don't know what the future is going to bring exactly, but it's going to be something to behold and something that I will continue talking about. So thanks for watching. If you like the video, I'd appreciate you give it a like, and until next time.